Hello, we are here for day 2 of my 5-day everyday live. So, yesterday we talked about mindfulness in motherhood. So, I went through all that yesterday with everybody, and today we're going to be talking about dealing with overwhelm, which I am sure is something that lots of people will be able to relate to right now, regardless to motherhood. That everything that's going on, it's a bit of a situation for us all to be dealing with. So I'm just going to pop some things up here for you guys. Right. Yeah, fantastic. So I just wanted to talk about dealing with overwhelm tonight because, there's going to be a lot of us here who are working from home, who were working from home prior to this, or who are having to work from home now, or even don't have the work going on. We're all going to have our children with us. So it's a very, very, very different situation that we're all looking at the moment. And that can become quite overwhelming if it kind of snowballs. So dealing with overwhelm. So this really has come up a lot recently, and understandably so as well. So I just wanted to talk to you about some of the simple ways that you can reduce your overwhelm straight away. That is going to help you to feel calmer and more in control of your emotions and your time, and really importantly is your energy also. So let's just have a little look about what overwhelm looks like. So motherhood and overwhelm. I mean, there's so many things to do every single day. There's a million of tasks. There's always washing to be done. There's always food to be cooked. There's always something to be cleaned, tidied, put away. If you have toddler like mine, you're forever dressing them and then making sure that they're relatively clean. And there's a thing about we never have enough time. So quite often we'll get to the end of the day and we'll think, where did that time go? We never have enough time to give ourselves the time. There's always this lack of time to be able to put back into ourselves, which is really, really key anyway in motherhood, and definitely now. So something that I wanted to just mention about was Marie Forleo. So some of you may have heard about Marie Forleo. She's an incredible entrepreneur in America, and she wrote a book, I'd say this year, I think it was. It's called Everything is Figure Outable. I have it on audio as well. It's absolutely amazing. But the bit that I wanted to mention in regards to that book was that she talks about time monitoring and how you can create 2 hours every day spare time for you. So, which sounds a little bit inaccessible, but it could potentially work. And apparently it does work. So, although I've not actually tried this yet, apparently it does work. So, what she talks about is how you literally monitor every single second of the day, from when you wake up to time with your children, to cooking dinner, to being on your phone, checking on Facebook, whatever. Is that for about a week or two, you monitor what's going on, and then you can see areas that you can actually just start to eliminate or change. So I just wanted to bring that up because it's a really fantastic book and she explains it really, really well in there. So the thing is, when we're feeling overwhelmed, is we're not really functioning properly. We're not really, being at our best. Things like having a foggy head and poor memory often come into place when we're feeling really overwhelmed, because everything is kind of here. It's really in the forefront of our mind. So that also can bring forward the emotional imbalance and limited patience. So when you're feeling really overwhelmed, it's really hard to manage your emotions properly. It's really hard to figure out what the next step is, because we're not thinking clearly, we're not thinking logically, and we're not thinking rationally either. We're probably not even sleeping properly. Excuse me, I have to drink some water because my throat's been bad today. But yeah, we don't want to be feeling like that, do we? That's really not what we want to be feeling like. So what we want to be feeling like is energized and in control of our time and in control of our days, which is something that when I speak to women that I work with comes up a heck of a lot. So the imbalance within the family dynamics, the imbalance within the work life dynamic, the imbalance of the fact that we never have this time, which we're going to start getting back. So it's feeling like we're out of control of those days, and the days can come and then they go, and then the weeks come and then they go, and we wonder what's even happened half the time. So we want to be feeling confident and really capable, so that by the end of the day you can reflect back and confidently think, I did a really good job there, and really engage with what's happened in that day and really look forward to the next day as well. But most importantly, and this is something that we neglect to do as mums all the time, is showing up for ourselves. Because showing up for ourselves is going to help us to then show up for our children in the way that we really want to. And at the moment, there is this uncertainty that we are facing, and we are all doing our absolute best to manage that the best way possible. But if we look at things like our daily routines, and most of those are out of sync at the moment, like I said, a lot of us are going to have children at home with us, which is challenging when you're running a business with a toddler at home. So, and I think there's going to be quite a few people who will be in that kind of situation. So our routines are out of sync. Perhaps our children aren't sleeping so well because their routines are out of sync, and they're so used to getting up at a certain time, going to nursery, going to school, whatever it is, coming home, seeing the parents, having the dinner, doing some play, and then going to bed. But because the days are kind of a bit of a mishmash at the moment, and there's external concerns and worries going on, that can actually put their routine out as well. So we are holding these external worries and finances that could be posing an issue. So obviously this is something that we're all kind of learning to adapt to. But we are learning to adapt to some sort of, albeit temporary, some sort of norm. And we're trying to figure it all out. And we're trying to be strong and manage the kids and manage ourselves. So there is a lot going on for us at the moment. But the best way to do this is to tackle it with reason, is to tackle it with practical planning and compassion for ourselves, because we're doing an incredible thing. We're running our lives from home full time with our children, with our partners, and this is a big change for us. So I think a lot of self-compassion is really, really deserved here, because you are doing a phenomenal job. Also, just try not to shy away from your emotions, because it's really important to actually acknowledge that they're there. And to be able to release them and then open up about what's going on. So this isn't really the right time to be having that good old British I'm fine attitude, when actually you might not be fine, when actually you might not be feeling okay. And that's okay to not feel okay, because that's human, and we are all going through this experience in our own way. But I really wanted to share with you a couple of really simple things that you can do straight away today that I hope will bring you some relief, and that I hope will bring you a way so that you can actually remove some of that overwhelm in areas of your life, and really allow yourself to create that space in your mind, so that then you can manage your time and manage your days and manage those in a way that you really want to, and in a way that's going to be productive for you and your family, and in a way that's going to bring you that meaning and help you to work through the emotions and work through any of the external stuff that's going on. So, two little things that I wanted to talk to you about. First of all, writing things down. These two do come under the same category. So we are going to talk about writing things down, but they're two separate things. So I want to talk to you about lists first of all, and I'll tell you why in a second. And then we're going to talk a little bit about journaling. So when we're writing things down, I just want you to be able to give yourself permission to take some time to get all that stuff and all those worries and all these plans and ideas and must-dos out of your head and onto the paper. Because not only is that incredibly cathartic, but it also allows your brain to stop running on overdrive, which is what can happen if we don't keep a check on it, because there's always these millions of things to do. And as mums, we are incredibly skilled at multitasking. But we also have to remember that we can't do everything at the same time, and we can't be everything at the same time either. So there's another thing going on here as well about the homeschooling, and there's a lot of pressure that I can see through a lot of women that I speak to, that they really want to get this right, that they have to make sure that they are being their teacher as well. And while there's elements of that are really important, this is also an unusual situation, and it's more important that you are staying sane and that you are staying in control and that you're feeling capable and able to get through the days in the best way possible for you. So writing things down can really help you to focus and concentrate, and then it can really help you to prioritize and get clarity around all the things that you want, all the things that you need, and really importantly, that is something that we miss out, is all the things that we don't need to do and all the things that maybe we could delegate to someone else. So it's not just about writing a list of what you must get done that day, or what you really want to get done that day, or achieving these things. It's also about being really honest and going, I don't need to do that, actually. That's not in my remit, or I don't need to do that today. Or actually, maybe someone else could do that. So here's the little list that I like to write out. So first of all, we're going to look at four. Nope, we're going to look at three. We're going to look at three columns. So first of all, a column is must and need to. So in one column, you can write things you really must do. And then another one is things that can wait. And then in another one can be things that you can just completely remove if you can, or wait till next year or something like that. So in the must-do list, then these are all the things that you really do need to do, like bathing and cooking and things like that, paying bills, etc., that sort of stuff, your everyday tasks of daily living, like your morning routine, washing your face and brushing your teeth and feeding the kids and the real essential stuff. So the real must-do things that you need to get done to survive and to feel alive. So on the next list, we can have a look at things that you can do that can wait. So anything in here can be things like what could wait until tomorrow, what could actually wait until, say, next week or something like that. So this is the kind of non-essential but also do need to get done things. So for instance, like cleaning the gutters, or washing the rug in your child's bedroom, or tidying up the toy box, or sorting the back of the food cupboard, those kind of things, sorting out underneath the bed, things that you really want to get done at some point, but actually they can go in the can wait list. So the other thing about that is that as you're writing these down, you're acknowledging that they are things that do need to get done at some point, but they are no longer taking up the brain space and hanging about in the forefront of your mind, creating those anxieties and therefore creating the overwhelm of things to do. So the more we plow on this on the forefront of our mind, the more we're going to struggle to actually cope with that and actually sift through all that. And then we're going to start to lose touch as to what's really important and what's not really important. And that's where the overwhelm can start to really kind of creep in. So the last bit is things that you can get rid of, which is great. I love this bit. I love being able to get rid of things. It's fantastic. So getting rid of something doesn't necessarily mean completely binning it, although that is what it also might mean, and that's fine too. This is more the kind of list of things that you can get rid of or ask someone else to do in the home. So under normal circumstances, there might be things that you can do, like outsourcing. So for instance, you can maybe get a gardener once every 6 months, or you could get a cleaner once a month or something like that to just kind of help with those deeper cleaning sort of jobs that you never get around to doing, but also cause you that anxiety and stress because you really need to get them done and you really want to get them done, and they're kind of hanging around up here in the forefront of your mind. Under these kind of circumstances, that might not actually be possible for a very, very lot of reasons. So the other thing that you could do is, and now bear with me, try not to laugh at me, but asking your kids to join in and then creating this to be a game as well, because that's then going to give them autonomy, that's going to give them confidence. You're going to be able to teach them these sort of life skills and things like that. So, and that could actually turn out to be really good fun. And I'm sure there is a lot of people at the moment who are doing that because we're all in the house together. Think about things that perhaps your partner might be able to do, and then sift through the things that you need to do perhaps yourself, or sift through things that you can actually just get rid of. So yeah, I mean, the other thing here is things like, which I'm sure so many people are already doing, are things like food shopping, things like that, like get an online delivery. So just to kind of like make that slightly easier. I mean, you can really go to town on this as well. You could do charts, you could do diagrams, you could like color coordinate what needs to be done. You can allocate days and times, and you know, it depends on how far you want to go with this or who's engaged in the activity as well. But it can really help you to prioritize your time and to make sense of what's going on, and to actually help you to create that space, which is then going to help you to allow that creativity to come through, and also give you time to rest, which is so important. We all need to rest as well, not just rest as in sitting down with a cup of tea kind of rest, but really resting our minds and really allowing ourselves to have that rejuvenation and to have that nurture of your mind. It's so important. So by doing things like the list, you know, it's more likely that you'll have improved function, improved clarity, and a lot more focus, because we know what we're doing. And again, predictability combats stress. So if we know what we're doing, we're less stressed about it, because our minds aren't racing around trying to figure out what's going on. Our minds aren't racing around trying to make sense of everything, because if we have it clearly in front of us and we've actually let go of some things, psychologically, that's really it's really relieving. So you'll get that kind of sense of like a weight off your shoulder. So the next tip that I wanted to talk to you guys about was journaling. So this is an amazing subject, and there is so much to cover on journaling, which I will not be able to have time to go on to today, but we will come back to this in a bit more depth another time. But journaling is something that is so good for your soul, and it really helps to de-stress and organize your thoughts. So this is a way of actually releasing your thoughts onto paper, and it can actually be used as a manifestation tool as well, which is super good fun. But again, that's for another subject, so I will come back to that at a later date. But basically what that means is that you can start to create a picture of how you want your days to feel, how you want your days to look like. And the more that you do that, the more your subconscious mind will be looking out for ways to make that happen. So, like I say, I have a whole module dedicated to exactly this in my signature program. So if you wanted to find out more about that, you can pop over to www.naomiella.com, and it's under my signature program. So the one that I wanted to talk to you about today, and this style of journaling, is called morning pages. And a few people would have heard about morning pages. Some people might have not come across this before, but this is something that's, it's really calming, and it really allows your morning to be filled with creativity and opens up to space as well. So with the morning pages, then it really helps to kind of clear your thoughts and then make the space for the fresh start of the day. And it can really help you to prioritize as well. So what this means is literally having a pen and paper by your bed, or if you're like me, you have to get up with a little person, you go downstairs, you make a cup of tea, you put the little person with an activity, and then if you're lucky, then you've got 10 minutes there to just start scribbling some stuff down before the rest of the day comes in. So this, before anything else happens, is just write stuff down. Write down those words, write down those sentences, write down those feelings. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to be a thing. It doesn't even have to have a start or a finish. And some practices for morning pages say write for half an hour or write for 2 pages. And it doesn't matter what comes out, but the point is that you are just releasing whatever's running around inside your mind. You're releasing that onto pen and paper. Therefore, it's out of your mind and it's down on pen and paper. And it's really going to help you to have those moments of clarity. And a lot of the things that, when I do this, that come out for that day is priorities of what I need to get done that day. And it actually puts me in a really good space because I've cleared my mind and I'm ready for what's about to happen in the day. Much more anyway. So those are my 2 tips there, is really get on board with your lists. get creative with your lists, write your must-dos, can wait, and then delegate or remove. Really start to sift through that and start to create that time and space in your day so that you can then do the things that you want to do right now. The other thing was the journaling and really looking at just scribbling those thoughts out of your head and into paper. And that's just one way to do it. There are other ways to do the journaling. I go through 3 ways actually on my Overwhelm mini course, which again is on my website, which you can find that also. So yeah, I really hope that you've enjoyed tonight's episode. So I will be popping back tomorrow, and I've completely forgotten which one tomorrow is, but you will see what that one is. And what I'll do in the link here is it's reconnecting to the self. I did remember. That's actually going to be so good. So reconnecting to the self tomorrow, which is all about in motherhood, having, losing that sense of self, losing that sense of identity, and what we can do to restore that so that we're feeling really confident and really connected with who we are now as women and as mums. So really, really looking forward to that chat. It's going to be fantastic. I will also upload my 5 quick and easy ways to quieten the mind and relax at home. Gorgeous download ebook for you, because in there we have 5 really lovely, really easy to do, designed completely for you guys to fit into your everyday life, so that you can just start to really instill that inner calm and just feel, that you're managing. So it's been lovely to hang out with you guys tonight, and really look forward to tomorrow's live at 5, reconnecting with the self. Take care, lots of love, and I will see you all really soon. Bye for now.